The descendants of Noah and the Tower of Babel, Genesis 10-11. And after the flood, the earth began to repopulate through the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Each son's lineage spread out, forming nations and tribes. Japheth's descendants ventured into coastal lands, while Ham's offspring, including the mighty hunter Nimrod who founded cities like Babel and Nineveh, settled in the southern regions. Shem's lineage would eventually lead to the nation of Israel. As humanity grew, they spoke a single language and decided to make a name for themselves by building a tower that reached to the heavens. This ambitious project, known as the Tower of Babel, was a symbol of human pride and unity. God, seeing their defiance, confused their language, causing them to speak different tongues. Unable to understand each other, they abandoned the tower and scattered across the earth, spreading out into the various nations. The call of Abram, Genesis 12. In the ancient city of Ur, there lived a man named Abram. One day, the Lord spoke to Abram, saying, "Leave your country, your people, and your father's household and go to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation and bless you, I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing." Trusting in the Lord's promise, Abram took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and all their possessions and set out for the land of Canaan. When they arrived, the Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." Abram built an altar there to honor the Lord. Famine in the land, Genesis 12-13. Not long after settling in Canaan, a severe famine struck the land. Abram and Sarai journeyed to Egypt to escape the famine. Fearful for his life because of Sarai's beauty, Abram instructed her to say she was his sister. Pharaoh, taken by Sarai's beauty, took her into his palace. But the Lord afflicted Pharaoh and his household with serious diseases because of Sarai. Realizing the truth, Pharaoh summoned Abram and said, "What have you done to me? Why did you not tell me she was your wife?" He returned Sarai to Abram and sent them away with all their possessions. Upon their return to Canaan, Abram and Lot found that their herds had grown too large for them to live together peacefully. Their herdsmen quarreled over grazing land. To avoid conflict, Abram suggested they part ways. "If you go to the left, I'll go to the right, if you go to the right, I'll go to the left," he offered. Lot chose the fertile plains near Sodom, while Abram stayed in the land of Canaan. After Lot departed, the Lord told Abram, "Look around from where you are, to the north and south, to the east and west. All the land that you see I will give to you and your offspring forever." Abram rescues Lot, Genesis 14. War broke out in the region, involving several kings. During the conflict, Lot was captured and taken prisoner. When Abram heard of Lot's capture, he gathered 318 trained men from his household and set out to rescue him. Abram and his men attacked the captors at night, defeated them, and rescued Lot along with his possessions and other captives. Upon his return, Abram was met by Melchizedek, king of Salem, who brought out bread and wine. Melchizedek, a priest of God Most High, blessed Abram, saying, "Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. And praise be to God Most High, who delivered your enemies into your hand." Abram gave him a tenth of everything. God's covenant with Abram, Genesis 15-17. Despite the Lord's promises, Abram remained childless. One night, God appeared to Abram in a vision, saying, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward." Abram replied, "Sovereign Lord, what can you give me since I remain childless?" God then took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars, if indeed you can count them. So shall your offspring be." Abram believed the Lord, and it was credited to him as righteousness. To seal this covenant, God instructed Abram to bring a heifer, a goat, and a ram, each 3 years old, along with a dove and a young pigeon. Abram sacrificed the animals, and God, in the form of a smoking fire pot and a blazing torch, passed between the pieces, signifying the binding nature of his promise. As years passed and still no child came, Sarai suggested that Abram have a child with her maidservant Hagar. Hagar bore a son, Ishmael, but tension arose between her and Sarai. God then reaffirmed his covenant with Abram, changing his name to Abraham, meaning father of many nations, and Sarai's name to Sarah. God promised them a son, Isaac, and instituted circumcision as the sign of this everlasting covenant. The promise of a son, Genesis 18-19. One hot day, Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent when he saw 3 men standing nearby. Recognizing them as messengers from the Lord, he hurried to welcome them. After providing them with water to wash their feet and a meal, one of the visitors said, "I will surely return to you about this time next year, and Sarah your wife will have a son." Sarah, overhearing from the tent, laughed at the idea, given her old age. But the Lord said, "Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the appointed time, I will return to you, and Sarah will have a son." Then the Lord revealed to Abraham his plan to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of their great wickedness. Abraham pleaded with God, asking if he would spare the cities if 50 righteous people could be found. The Lord agreed and continued to negotiate with Abraham until he agreed to spare the cities if even 10 righteous people could be found. 2 angels arrived in Sodom that evening, and Lot, sitting at the city gate, insisted they stay at his home. The men of Sodom surrounded Lot's house, demanding to assault the visitors, but the angel struck them with blindness and warned Lot to flee with his family. Lot and his daughters escaped to a nearby town as fire and brimstone rained down, destroying the cities. Lot's wife, looking back, turned into a pillar of salt. Abraham and Abimelech, Genesis 20-21. Abraham moved to the region of Gerar, where he again claimed that Sarah was his sister. King Abimelech took Sarah, but God appeared to him in a dream, warning him of the truth. Abimelech returned Sarah to Abraham, along with gifts of sheep, cattle, and servants. He said, "My land is before you, live wherever you like." The Lord kept his promise, and Sarah bore a son at the appointed time. They named him Isaac, meaning he laughs. Sarah declared, "God has brought me laughter, and everyone who hears about this will laugh with me." As Isaac grew, tension rose between Sarah and Hagar. Sarah asked Abraham to send Hagar and Ishmael away. Though distressed, Abraham did as God instructed, and God provided for Hagar and Ishmael in the desert, promising to make Ishmael into a great nation. The test of faith, Genesis 22-23. God tested Abraham's faith by asking him to sacrifice Isaac. Abraham obeyed and took Isaac to the region of Moriah. Just as Abraham was about to sacrifice his son, an angel of the Lord called out, "Do not lay a hand on the boy. Now I know that you fear God." Abraham looked up and saw a ram caught by its horns, which he sacrificed in place of his son. This act reaffirmed God's promise to bless Abraham and multiply his descendants. Sarah lived to be 127 years old and died in Hebron. Abraham mourned her and purchased the cave of Machpelah from the Hittites as a burial site. Isaac and Rebekah, Genesis 24. As Abraham grew older, he sought to find a wife for Isaac. He sent his trusted servant to his homeland to find a suitable bride. The servant prayed for guidance and met Rebekah, who offered water to him and his camels. Rebekah agreed to marry Isaac, and they returned to Canaan. Isaac married Rebekah, bringing comfort to him after his mother's death. Thus, the journey of Abraham, marked by faith, trials, and God's enduring promises, continued through his descendants, shaping the course of history and laying the foundation for the nation of Israel.